Good morning. It is this coming Sunday will be Sunday, November 21st. While our church is doing a Thanksgiving service, we celebrated this next Sunday a week early. This coming Sunday is Christ the King Sunday. It is the final Sunday of the church year. Our church was all decorated in some gold, with gold cloth in the altar, a gold cloth hanging on the cross with a crown on there. We can call it Christ the King Sunday. We can call it Reign of Christ Sunday. Our Catholic friends, something like Jesus, King of the Universe. Sundays, but anyway, all of these, the idea is that Jesus is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. I also showed a video called That's My King. It was a sermon by S.M. Lockridge, an old sermon put to some visuals. Just a great way to remember that Jesus Christ is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And it's really kind of like the final Sunday. It's sort of like remembering that Jesus is coming back and that he inherits a kingdom that's eternal. And he is the Alpha and the Omega. So all of these ideas are found. The matter of fact, the New Testament reading comes from Revelation chapter 1, that Jesus says, I am the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end. To remember that there was no one before Jesus, there's going to be no one after Jesus. Jesus has been given all authority. And so that's what we're taking a look at. It's a great Sunday to remember to sing songs like Jesus Shall Reign and Crown Him with Many Crowns. We sang Sing to the King. But it was a good Sunday of celebration to remember that Jesus Christ is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. It's a great Sunday that sets up kind of like return back to the less of the ordinary time where we're just kind of like coming along through scriptures, and we end up now back in heading back to Advent. And one of the themes of Advent, we'll talk about this next week, one of the themes of Advent is this idea that Advent is a preparation for Jesus coming. And we'll talk about both the first coming and second coming. But for now, we remember that Jesus is the King. This is the final, we'll do a video next week, but I'm just not sure exactly what I'm going to do, whether I'll use all four of the scriptures or where we're going to go from that. So, the Advent begins a new church year. This will mark the fifth time that we've been through the lectionary scriptures, so 15 years. It's been it's always a challenge. So here we find ourselves in John chapter 18. It's at Jesus' trial before Pilate. And Jesus and Pilate are having a little conversation. John 18:33. Then Pilate went back into his headquarters and called for Jesus to be brought to him. Are you the King of the Jews? He asked. Jesus replied, is this your own question, or did others tell you about me? Am I a Jew? Pilate retorted. Your own people and their leading priests have brought you to me for trial. Why? What have you done? Jesus answered, my kingdom is not an earthly kingdom. If it were, my followers would fight to keep me from being handed over to the Jewish leaders. But my kingdom is not of this world. So Pilate asked, so you are a king? Jesus responded, you say that I am a king. Actually, I was born and came into the world to testify to the truth. All who love the truth recognize what I say is true. And it's really important to remember here in this little conversation between Pilate and Jesus that Pilate is no wishy-washy, namby-pamby kind of guy. Pilate was cruel. And the fact that he treats Jesus with such compassion is kind of a really interesting thing here. He treats Pilate with compassion, or treats Jesus with compassion, but I really believe that Pilate is genuinely interested in who this Jesus is. He's confused as to what the Jewish leaders are trying to pull here, and doesn't quite to know what to make of it all. And because even after Jesus says, "Yeah, everything that I say is true," Pilate says, "Well, what is truth?" And that's one of John's themes is he has those I am statements, and one of the I am statements of Jesus is, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." And so Jesus is proposing that he is the king, and he is, to Pilate, and says, "But my kingdom isn't here. I'm not trying to overthrow the Romans. I'm not trying to overthrow the Jewish people. I have come to establish an eternal kingdom, one that's not of this world, one that will always has been, one that will always be." And I think sometimes we really tend to get caught up in this temporal kingdom, the temporal earthly kingdom. And we need to remember that Jesus came not to die for this temporal kingdom, but he came to die for an eternal kingdom, that he is the King of Kings. And it's him, ultimately our allegiance, no matter where we want it to be, ultimately our allegiance belongs to Jesus. It is he who reigns. It is he who he is the ultimate. He is the Alpha, the Omega. And I love the one line in the S.M. Lockridge sermon. It says, "You can't impeach him, and he's not going to resign." Yeah, he is eternal, all-knowing, the Lord of life, the Lord of love, the Lord of heaven, the King of heaven. And I encourage you to serve him this week. Serve the eternal kingdom, the kingdom that will not pass away. That's my thought for you today. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord.